Hey everybody, we're doing chapter 11 of FARSIGHTED. I don't know why I'm speaking like this because I'm not from the country, but we'll have fun. Anyway, the traveler has reached an insurmountable roadblock. If he chooses not to seek help, his journey will end abruptly, and he may become trapped within the ice. This period of apparent inertia will be the callus for future events. 2 weeks go by just like this. I refuse to speak to Simi and Shapri any more than necessary to get through labs, avoid Mystique's shop, and try my best to deal with the wreck my mother has become. Mom tries her best to put on a cheery face, but the pain is apparent in everything she does. She's not even calling me sapling or oak tree anymore. Never thought I'd miss those stupid nicknames. With Dad gone, Mom's begun to help me with my homework, but she's distracted and makes mistakes. Between that and my newfound lack of enthusiasm for chem, my grades are beginning to slip from an A average to something more in the high B range. Dad was more important to my life than I realized. As much as I hate him for destroying everything, I can't help but miss him. What is he doing? Where did he go? He must be somewhere nearby so he can continue his affair with Mystique. But he never stops by to say hi to us. Christmas break arrives, and I take to moping around the house. Mom fills our garage with seasonal wreaths and potted poinsettias and directs her customers to stop by the house for their purchases. This is a small town, so no one minds. Right now, Mom and I are sitting together at the kitchen table decorating wreaths. My job is to stick pine cones and plastic berries into the bare places in the foliage. Mom makes any necessary touch-ups to my work and ties on a red satin bow. While we're doing this, she decides to talk about Dad. "I wonder what your father is doing," she says, as she snips through a line of ribbon with plastic safety scissors. I want to respond in anger, but that would hurt her too much. "I don't know," I say instead. "What do you think?" "He always loved Christmas. Decorating the tree. Decorating the shop, eating gingerbread men, wearing those ridiculous sweaters Grandma made us each year, singing carols. It isn't the same without him here." I stop fussing with the pine and turn toward my mother. I place a hand on her shoulder. "We can still do all those things. We're decorating now. You're the one who bakes the cookies, and I can go put on my sweater from last year." I get up and head toward my room to change my shirt. "But Alex, deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la," I sing as I search my room for Grandma's sweater. It's not in my closet. Then where? Remembering the storage bin under my bed, I get down on my stomach and swipe my arms under the bed frame. My hand makes contact with a small leather box. What's this, a Christmas present? I pull it out for further examination. The box is more like a rectangle with a handle. It has 2 clasps and twisty dials along the top. I stop singing as the realization of what I'm holding hits me like a linebacker. This is the briefcase I tripped over on the first day of school. How did it wind up under my bed? I thumbed the dial mindlessly. Still locked. Alex? Mom calls. Are you coming back? Oh, crap. I shove the briefcase under my bed and pull out the long plastic storage container. Yeah, just a sec, I call back, popping the lid off the storage box. This one's easy to open. I run my hands over the jumble of fabric inside, clothes I've grown out of mostly. My hand stops when it finally locates the dead sheep sweater. Lots of itching in store tonight. I pull the sweater over my head and trot back out to Mom. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Mom laughs. The first laugh in a very long time. How do I look? I turn around in a slow circle with my arms out to either side. Like Christmas, my sapling. Mom hugs me and kisses my shoulder. I'm too tall for her to be able to kiss the top of my head like she used to. Now, how about those gingerbread men? Mom remains cheerful for a few days longer, but then Christmas arrives. I wake up around 7 and crawl into bed beside her. I whisper, "Merry Christmas," to her, and she rolls over to offer a weak pat on my shoulder in exchange. I don't feel like getting out of bed early today, okay? Her voice is hoarse. You can go ahead and open your presents, though. She squeezes my arm and pulls the quilt over her head. The mothball smell is almost completely gone now. I pad out of the room, understanding I shouldn't try to convince Mom otherwise. The longer she sleeps, the less she can think about Dad and how he's missing Christmas. I pour myself a gigantic glass of orange juice and make my way to the living room. One present lies under the small tree.
Now, Gemini the bird added to their story. Waving hand.
Just one?
Speech off.
One more time. One present lies under the small Christmas tree. Just one. Usually Dad gives me $20 to buy Mom's present. But what can I do this year? A rush of regret sweeps over me. I should have shoveled the neighbors' driveways, bagged groceries at the store, something, anything to earn enough spare cash to buy Mom something nice. She needed it this year more than ever. I place my hands on either side of the big box on the floor. The wrapping paper crinkles happily to my touch, like a cat purring when its owner stops to offer a pat. I hesitate and decide not to open the gift, not without Mom. Any other day, I'd go back to my room, return to sleep, browse on my talking web, or even read a book. Today, none of these activities feel right. On Christmas, you're supposed to spend time with your family and friends. Well, I haven't got any of those now. Only Mom, and she needs her rest. I can't remember a single Christmas in history not starting with me tearing into my presents first thing in the morning. It's weird not opening gifts with my family. I just can't do it alone this year. Then I remember I do have something to open. That pesky briefcase living under my bed. It's locked, but if I keep trying, I might be able to figure out the combination. I push my body up from the floor and return to my room. I grab the briefcase from under my bed and place it on top of my comforter before me. Now think, what could the combination be? This is Dad's case, so the numbers must mean something special to him. I try Mom's birthday and my own. Of course, neither of those work. Neither does Dad's birthday, our house address, or the address to Sweet Blossoms. I start turning the dials at random, running my thumbs over the three-dimensional digits, searching for any grouping of numbers that make even the slightest bit of sense. Maybe I'll get lucky and land upon the correct combination by chance? I wish I could use my powers to figure this out, but that would never work. For starters, controlling them is exhausting, and usually I'm not able to anyway. I've basically given up on developing them. Why should I continue when Miss Teague is a traitor? Simi and Japri won't talk to me, and anyway, Simi will end up choosing to be with Dax no matter what I try to do. I continue to turn to random numbers on the dial. Then, for whatever reason, I decide to enter today's date. Christmas, 12/24. I'm caught off guard when the case's lid pops open. I take a moment to catch my breath and brace myself for whatever is inside. Could be anything. Most likely a stack of Dad's resumes or some other boring business thing. I mean, what are briefcases usually for in the first place? But Dad wouldn't forget something so important. And he also wouldn't leave it under my bed. My hands reach down and open the lid, the rest of the way. The smell of inky paper wafts out. I prepare to pull out those resumes, but find something larger instead. The paper crinkles as my hand makes contact with a book-sized object. On top is a tag printed in Braille. From your great-great-grandfather. Merry Christmas. Love, Dad. Immediately, my spine stiffens, and I drop the present onto my bed. Dad left in October, and he's not the one responsible for buying my gifts. Anyway, Mom is. How would he know I'd even be able to get into the briefcase in the first place, let alone on Christmas? Even the combination corresponds to today. I shudder. Might as well see what he left me. Leaving the present lying on the bed, I remove the paper carefully, like I don't fully trust it. Inside is an audiobook. Running my index finger across the plastic casing, I find another little Braille note from Dad. It simply says, "The Crucible." I'm pretty sure this is the same book students read in junior year English. I have absolutely no idea why Dad is giving this to me. It doesn't even tie into our heritage. I sigh and stuff the book under my pillow. I relock the case and shove it back under the bed. Something slides around inside, piquing my curiosity. I reopen the case and grope about until I find the object. There are two. One is the same size, shape, and texture as the runes Miss T gave me. Odd. Well, I guess not, since she and Dad are having an affair. I grunt in disgust and toss the rune aside. The other item is the bracelet Simi gave me for my birthday. If you ever think you're alone, this bracelet will remind you that you aren't. She said. I slide the bangle on my wrist without a second thought. How did this get into the briefcase? I stopped wearing it the day of my fight with Simi and Shapri, and we fought because of Dad's leaving. It doesn't make any sense. Dad would have had to sneak back into the house after he left to place the bracelet inside the case. Why would he do that? What's so important about the bracelet? And why can't he at least say hi to Mom while he's doing all of this sneaking around? In anger, I turn the bracelet around on my wrist, first slowly, then quicker and quicker, feeling the cool silver glide across my skin, imagining the circle spinning so fast it disappears, focusing on nothing but the feeling of the bracelet and the winding motion. Then something weird happens. They say right before you die, your whole life flashes before you. A medley of your own personal greatest hits. If this is true, I must be about to live. Because a series of events that haven't yet happened push themselves through my head. First, my lips become moist as another set presses up against them. I missed you, Alex, Simi purrs, before I can even begin to contemplate this momentous event. It's gone. Another comes to take its place. I never left you. I've been here all along, Dad says as a car zooms by and a siren sounds in the distance. All of a sudden, the background of the busy street is gone, replaced by the stillness of Miss Teak's shop. The scent of sandalwood incense drifts by. It's not true, you know. Those things you said about me, my mom, my dad, none of those things were true, Shapri utters, lighter than I've ever heard any line of speech come from her. Her skin is under my fingertips, a pulsing, buttery softness. Miss Teak's shop turns into a cold, outdoor setting. Everything is silent, too silent. All I can hear is the voice. You can't stop me. Nobody can stop me. This is my game now. It's my world. Dax roars from above. He kicks me. I instinctively grab my ribs to escape the pain. This small movement is enough to break my focus and break me out of the trance. The real visions stop. The reel of visions stops, and the pain in my side leaves with them. I'm left with a million questions, like what just happened to me? Will all the things I see actually occur in my future? How far into my future? Were they in order of how they'd happen? At some point, I returned to Miss Teak's shop. Shapri and I become friends? Maybe even more? Yuck. Don't even want to think about that. Dad contacts me. Dax and I fight in person. But most of all, Simi kisses me. I knew she didn't really think of me as her brother. One thing's for sure. I need to stop hiding from my powers and my friends. Leave my anger behind me. Make amends. I need to be as strong as possible if I'm going to fight this manic. Fight that manic Dax. Besides, the sooner I rejoin the group, the sooner Simi can tell me she kissed me. And, well,